This is Business Talk, your business, your success. Sponsored by Take Action Business Coaching. The opinions expressed are those of the participants and may not be the views of the staff, advertisers, and owners of the station. Advice given is not intended to replace that of your business advisor. Now, let's get down to talking about your business, your success. This is Business Talk.
Well, good afternoon, Michelle.
Good afternoon, Pete. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. Yourself?
Oh, I'm doing just great.
All is well.
You have any exciting plans for this 4th of July weekend?
You know, watch some fireworks, all those kind of things.
Yeah.
I mean, I enjoy it. I have a home at Apple Valley Lake, and it's very cool. Everybody sets off fireworks before the 4th, and after the 4th, and during the 4th, and anyway,
for the
it's
next
really cool.
month afterwards,
oh,
right?
Yeah, and the dogs are all shivering in fright. And, so... But the kids are happy. It's fun. Yeah, I can watch the neighbors' kids jump off the roof into the lake. And,
wow.
And they're doctors, you know.
Nice.
I think,
okay.
that's
well,
cool. You know?
I guess they hopefully can help them when they don't make it quite to the lake.
Now, last weekend when I was up there, I went and talked to them a little bit. It's a husband and wife, and they're both physicians, and they bought a slack line. You know, it's a nylon web that's like two inches wide and real thin. And they stretched it from one dock, their dock, to the neighbor's dock. It's like 50 feet.
Okay.
And they're all trying to walk across this slack line. And nobody made it more than 2 feet. Nobody. But it was really windy. So maybe this coming weekend, if the wind isn't too hard, I'll get up there and try it.
Yeah, I was going to say, show them off, Pete.
You got to die of something.
Right. That's right.
Yep.
Well, Pete, I would like to have you around after next week.
You would?
So, if you
right.
could just be really careful.
Well, the only thing I'd worried about is you're hitting your head on the dock. So if you get away from the dock, you're fine.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, fall in the water, so what? You get out.
Exactly. Little belly flop.
Yeah, no problem. All right. So here we are.
Good.
This is Business Talk.
Yes.
And Michelle and I are business coaches, and we are part of a firm. And Peg Burley is one of our partners as well.
Yep.
And we've been here in Columbus, Ohio for 13 years. And we are a great business coaching firm. And basically, what do we do for companies, Michelle?
We make them more successful. So we help them in any way that we can to make their success continue and expand and get to the goals that they want to do. So we're kind of like your personal trainer for a business.
That's exactly it. It's very similar to that because everybody knows how to do a push-up, right?
That's right.
But do you do them as often as you should?
That's right.
And as your business coach, we make you do the push-ups.
That's right. And we might teach you some different ways to do the push-ups.
So with one arm
different muscles.
and, and
or
clap
like
your hands in between.
Back bend push-up.
Oh,
how about that? That sounds...
God, man.
We can make it really interesting.
We can make it really tough.
That's right.
Anyway, you are the one that sets your goals.
That's right.
We just help you get there faster.
Exactly.
That's really about... That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we help you clarify your goals.
Absolutely. Because we say really every business is the same and every business is unique all at the same time because really,
that's a good point.
Businesses have to have customers of something that they're selling, whether it's a service or a product. They would hopefully be profitable, making some money, not just doing this for the fun of owning your business,
growing.
Right?
We like growth.
We like
growth is good.
Not declining or not just staying stagnant.
Right.
Because stagnant can be a warning sign that the decline is on the way. So we need to make sure that there's constant growth. So, but each business, even within an industry, is different because the owner has their own set of goals and their own vision of how they want the business to be, how they want their customers to be treated, how they want their team to, prosper and everything like that.
Their own culture and their own values, right? Which is good. And that's a great thing about this country is that there are thousands, millions of businesses.
Absolutely.
There are probably in Central Ohio, there are approximately 30,000 businesses in metropolitan Ohio.
So none.
Central Ohio. Just Central Ohio, 30,000. So
that's
a lot of them are small, of course.
Of course, yeah.
But there's that's where 60% roughly of the new jobs come from in the U.S. is from small businesses.
Exactly. So we need to do all we can to encourage those small and medium-sized businesses to be successful.
Today, one of the things we're going to talk about, the main thing, we're going to talk about a book by Brian Tracy called No Excuses.
Oh, that sounds scary.
So those of you that like this, if you have kids, listen up.
That's right.
But first, we suggest you work on yourself first.
Absolutely.
Those kids, they're going to do what they're going to do. But, we're going to talk about this book. It's a great book, and the subtitle is called The Power of Self-Discipline. Now, we all could use a little more of that, right?
Absolutely, yes. And that definitely is a skill that needs practice all the time.
And if you've got employees, you've got subcontractors, the application for this is really endless.
Yeah.
So what I'd like to do first is we're going to talk about a little bit of good news. We like to start the day with good news. Why?
Because you always want to start your reticular activating system focused on positive things.
Oh, very good. And, a lot of when you turn on the television news or you pick up the paper, what's in there?
It's all negative.
Yeah, a lot of it. That stuff sells,
yeah,
right?
Exactly.
I mean, somebody got murdered and this got blown up and some building in China fell over. All this kind of stuff is happening. And that's what people go to the newspaper for, turn on the TV for.
Yeah, so I was just talking to the manager that I work with, one of my coaching clients, and she said that when she wakes up in the morning, she just feels so negative. She just is bombarded by negative as soon as she wakes up. And I said, well, what's the first thing you do? Is it check Facebook on your phone? And she said, yes. And God love Facebook. There's plenty of great positive things out there, but there's also a lot of complaining and a lot of negativity. I'm not saying just stay off there altogether. Pictures. Exactly. But why would you want to start your morning with things that you have no control over, the information that is there? So instead, we talk about starting the morning with more positive things like a gratitude moment. Take your gratitude snooze, and when that alarm clock goes off and you feel too sleepy,
think of one or two things you're grateful for.
Exactly.
And it's really simple, right? It can take seconds.
Yep. Prepare yourself as much as you can that before you hit that newspaper, before you hit that morning TV show that you're going to watch the news program and get hit with the negativity, surround yourself with positivity first.
Awesome. Okay, so here's some good news. Now, I grew up in Buffalo, New York. Now, you grew up in where?
In Columbus, Ohio.
Oh, in Columbus, Ohio?
But my family,
I thought you were from up north.
Yeah, my family is from Youngstown, Ohio.
From Youngstown.
So, I have a lot
what
of
I was
family
going to
in
say
Youngstown.
there is that Youngstown and Buffalo, kind of similar.
Yes, similar
kind of
traits.
Rust Belt, kind of, when I drive back there, God bless you, Buffalo, but it looks a little older each time.
Yeah.
There's nothing new. However,
I think Donald Trump actually referred to it as a war zone at one point. And
war zone,
I don't know if it's quite that bad, but certain rough.
I used to work at a used furniture store in one of those places.
Okay.
It's very interesting.
Yeah.
So one of the articles I've got here, and this is out of the Wall Street Journal, and you wouldn't think this, but then my background was in chemical engineering, so in the chemical business, and Occidental Petroleum, great company. They made chlorine, caustic, and things that are industrial chemicals that went into plastics and pharmaceuticals and things. So very important things.
Sure.
But one of the things we did do is produce a lot of the ingredients that go into a lot of plastics. And this article says shale boom's impact in one word: plastics. The idea that the United States is producing oil and gas by hydraulic fracturing or fracking, it has increased the oil and gas output from the United States by 57% over the last 10 years.
Wow.
So huge. And it's one of the big reasons why you don't pay as much at the gas pump.
That's nice.
Because of what is happening right here. A lot of it's in the southwest part of the United States. The other big thing that's really good for the country is that they are investing billions of dollars in downstream products from the fracturing business. And it's over $180 billion are planned just for the Texas area in the next few years as far as expansions and new plants.
Awesome.
To take advantage of low-cost raw materials. That's the reason for it.
Yeah.
So it's really good.
Well, Texas is certainly booming.
Yeah, so they're booming.
Yeah.
The other one I've got here, and this is a client of ours in St. Louis, is an aerospace contractor. And Boeing is starting to expand into the parts business a lot more aggressively. So their business for their jets is really booming.
Yeah.
And they're also looking at growing their profitability and the size of their parts supply business, which is really interesting. And for you guys as business owners, you need to be thinking about, are we diversifying at all? Now, of course, Boeing is not completely diversified, but capital can be cut drastically, right, during lean times. However, the planes are still going to fly, and they're going to need parts, and they're going to need service, that kind of thing. So think about your own business and what you could do to not only gain in your primary service or product, but what could you do as a sideline to make sure that you're protected.
Exactly. And always innovating to be the first one out there with different ideas and trying to not be the follower, but be the leader within your industry.
Yeah, and if you sell a customer a large piece of capital equipment, what can you do to take care of it for them?
Absolutely.
For the rest of its useful life, hopefully.
Yes, hopefully so. Great.
Good. So this is Business Talk with Michelle and Pete, and we're talking about your business and your success. And today's topic is a book called No Excuses, The Power of Self-Discipline by Brian Tracy.
Sounds very good. And Pete, I haven't had the privilege to read this book yet, Pete, but you are going to educate me and our listeners today about that, because we are constantly reading and educating ourselves on all kinds of things. And I know I'm excited to hear what we have to learn today.
Yeah. So how many of you want to lose weight out there?
I do.
Yeah, I do too. I do. Just save 10 pounds over and over again.
I know,
And how many of you want to be more financially independent?
Oh, sure. Me.
Some of you are already, but you want to be a little more secure.
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
Or some of you want to achieve a big business goal.
Yes,
or maybe
for sure.
a big goal. What we're going to talk about today is something that can help you to create more self-discipline for yourself.
Great.
And once you get on the road to mastering this, it's something you can teach others.
Wonderful.
And we don't immediately want to teach others. We want to show them by example, right?
Yes, exactly. Lead by example for your kids, your staff, yourself, your
I know
spouse.
I'm having this chocolate cake, but I want you to eat it. I want you to eat the carrots, right?
Absolutely. Carrots are delicious.
They are. Yeah, in moderation.
That's right.
Everything in moderation,
In a cake.
including moderation.
Right?
All right. So that's what we're going to talk about today, and think about what are areas of your life or your business or both where you could use some more personal discipline.
Absolutely.
And then are there employees that are in your organization that could use this as well in order to help them?
Sounds good.
To learn more about today's topic, call 614-306-7922. Now, back to more Business Talk.
Well, good afternoon, Ohio. It's Business Talk with Michelle and Pete, and we're talking about your business, your success. And as business coaches, we get exposed to a lot of different types of companies. So right now it's probably 30 different companies, and they're all over the map. There's law firms, a couple of those. There's service companies like plumbing and heating, cooling, electrical, those kind of things, contracting companies, couple of manufacturing companies, veterinary practices, a large manufacturing company, multi-billion-dollar manufacturing company we're doing executive coaching for.
Right.
In every one of these organizations, there are times when the boss or even the managers think, boy, if only I would do this thing that is uncomfortable for me, I could really take off.
Yeah.
I could really get something done.
Yep. It's easy when you get comfortable, especially when businesses are being successful, or when you as a person are successful. You get into your comfort zone, and it's a nice, warm, cozy blanket.
Yeah, they call it that for a reason,
day.
right?
That's
right. Let's just stay here, and I'll keep
Exactly.
getting my salary that's enough to pay the mortgage and keeps my spouse happy. And
That's right.
Everything's cool.
Everything's good. But if we don't push ourselves, we will never grow. Because if you stay in that nice, warm, cozy comfort zone and don't ever exercise or see the sunlight or do anything to expand past that little space, you're going to stay stuck there and eventually probably dwindle away because you're not doing anything to even keep your status quo, much less push yourself forward.
So good news, bad news about the U.S. is that we have enough market freedom where we can start a business with nothing.
Yep.
However, that also means that we have competitors. Every single business we're working with has competitors.
Right, absolutely.
Now, some are more intense than others, but everybody's got them.
Exactly.
We've all got them.
And you got to work to stay ahead of that person.
Right.
Yeah.
So think about this no excuses concept. So, again, it's Brian Tracy. It is the power of self-discipline, and he's got a whole list of things that we're going to go through some of these today, and hopefully it'll give you some encouragement to actually pick up this book and read it. If you guys are interested and would like a book list, we've got a book list sorted by topic that we could email to you.
Yep.
If you send your information to Michelle.
Yep. It's Michelle Calcasola, CALCASOLA at actioncoach.com.
Very good.
And you can also find out more about us at our website, which is takeactionbusinesscoaching.com. You can learn more about us there, contact us through that or through many social media sites.
Very good. So one of the things the point that Brian Tracy makes in this book is he said that most people want the same things. So they want to be thinner, richer, happier in their job and more successful maybe in their job, have great relationships, and enjoy life generally.
Oh,
right?
Sounds good, yeah.
So a lot of people know what they need to do those things.
Sure.
And what do you think happens?
They don't do them.
Very simple. This is really simple stuff, isn't it? Right?
Stuff, yeah.
I know I should run a few times a week, or I know I should go to the gym a few times a week, or I know I should eat that Philly cheesesteak 3 times a week.
Right.
And maybe have a salad a couple days a week. I'm thinking about myself.
Yeah.
And we just don't do it.
Right. Absolutely. Well, we talk about the change formula a lot when we are talking about our clients and ourselves and everything like that. And really, when we want to change, it's not so much the change that's hard or the change that takes a long time. It's prepping yourself to be ready for that change, to really care enough to be ready for that change. So,
if you have a piece of paper, you could write this formula down. Go ahead.
Exactly. So it is your dissatisfaction.
D. The letter D.
Times your vision.
The letter V.
Plus your first steps.
And F.
And then it has to all be greater than the resistance. Dun, dun, dun.
So we don't do too much math, but the idea is that if your dissatisfaction with your current state, whether it's a business state or a personal state, whatever the situation is, whether it's financial or health or wealth or how much you weigh, if you're not dissatisfied at all, you're probably not going to overcome your resistance to changing your lifestyle.
Yep. Yeah, because we talk about, say in dieting, that resistance is, I have to work out. I can't eat the cake I want to eat.
So my example is, and this is about a year ago, I took my son David. Hi, David.
Hi, David.
David's 26. He's a software developer at Cardinal Health in Dublin.
Yeah.
And hi there. And anyway, we went to the store to buy some pants, right? Business type clothes.
Sure.
And I tried on what I thought was my normal size, and they didn't fit.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, I know, Alan. I know. You're looking at me like, oh, it's happened to you. No, it's never happened to you. But it happened to me. And I'm like, I got really upset.
Yeah.
That upset me.
That grew your dissatisfaction to a whole new level.
Yep. And it's like, okay, I'll have a salad once a year
or more. Yep.
But unless you have some level of dissatisfaction with your financial situation, your business situation, your relationships, you're probably not going to make much change.
Right, absolutely.
So sometimes you have to get yourself dissatisfied.
Yes, you have to really, look at those pictures of yourself that may not be as flattering. You have to go try on the clothes that
don't fit. Are we
fit.
recommending this, Michelle? Go to a full-length mirror.
That's right.
Take off your shirt and take a picture.
And really, really look at it.
Do not text it to anyone.
That's right. Yeah, and then the other side is the vision. You have to have a vision of what could be different, what it could be like having that thing. So say it is losing weight. You have a really good vision. Maybe it's a picture of yourself when you were at your ideal weight, or maybe it's just an outfit that you don't fit into, or a pair of pants in your case that you don't fit into, that you can really think about what you would be like, how much more energy you would have, how much more self-confidence you would have, how you would feel, and really use all of your emotional side to get that.
And in a business context, it could be you have a manufacturing operation, you walk out into the facility, and the place is spotless.
Right.
And the checklists that are supposed to be completed at the end of a shift are all done.
Yes, and you're able to pay the bills on time.
All the paperwork that is required to be finished at the end of the workday is in the box of the person that's supposed to get it.
Right.
Everything is done how it's supposed to. That's your vision.
Yep.
And if you get clear on what you want, you're a lot more likely to get what you want.
Absolutely.
So then the next term is the F.
Yep.
And that's the first steps.
Yep. And that's usually relatively easy.
That's
As you said,
part,
we know what we're supposed to do. We know that we're supposed to be doing the checklist. We know we should eat the salad. We know we should do the exercise. We know we might need to get a personal trainer or a business coach if it's on the business side to help us with those first steps, to keep us accountable and make sure we're doing them. But that's the easy part. Usually we can figure that out.
Yeah, the dissatisfaction and the vision, if you think about those two terms, they're both about the reason why.
Right.
And that's usually where you have to dig a little bit.
Exactly. Yeah.
Most of us know how to do our basic functions at work.
Right.
Or taking care of ourselves at home.
Yeah.
We know how to do it.
Exactly.
Okay. So the big concept here with this No Excuses book and A Power of Self-Discipline, again, by Brian Tracy, is about self-discipline. And one of the big keys, and this is, again, from our concept, is this line of choice where you need to take ownership for whatever the situation is.
Right.
It's yours.
Yep.
You need to be responsible for the results that you're currently getting.
Yes.
Because you've been there a while. You're producing them, right?
Yep.
You have been producing them, whether it's at work or home.
Yep.
And then you need to be responsible to take the actions you need to take to get some different results, if that's what you want.
Yep. So we want to be getting results with having that ownership, accountability, and responsibility. On the flip side, if we aren't doing that, we could be what we call under our line of choice, and that is with blame. When we're blaming others, or just pointing that finger all over the place to try to get out of the trouble, or
that silly waiter brought me a
it.
cheesesteak when I really should have had a salad.
That's right. Yeah, just because I ordered the cheesesteak it has nothing to do with me. It's he went back there and ordered it. Or we make excuses. If somebody comes to us about, hey, blah blah blah, this didn't happen, and you're immediately jumping right to the excuses, or even excuses excuses to yourself as to why something didn't work out. And then the denial, which is kind of the scariest part, is that whole ostrich head in the sand thing, or, just denying that there's a problem to even begin with, because really, how are you going to fix the problem if you can't even, say that you have a problem? So that's just living with reasons. And if you can't get yourself out of that, oh, woe is me mindset, then you're not going to get the results that you want.
Right.
So
one of the concepts that we talk with folks about is something called social proof. And it's from a book, and I think it's Robert Cialdini. Weapons of Influence is the name of the book.
Yes.
And social proof means that, let's just take a topic. Let's use the weight because it's an easy one.
Sure.
And it's pretty common, right? A lot of us have, especially when you get
a lot
past,
of us have been there, or we know people
30,
have.
Right? Or a long ways past 30. Is there anybody else who's had this exact same problem with the same excuse that did it anyway?
Yep. Yeah, and I'm sure you can look all around. Social media,
and unfortunately,
social media.
There are lots of people who've solved this problem.
Yes.
So that's one thing that we want you to think about, is that you can do it because other people have done it.
Right.
Not that it's simple.
Yep.
But there are ways that you can work on this and take care of it.
Absolutely. So get over yourself.
Yes.
And get it done.
Yeah. And sometimes it helps to have a partner that you're talking to about this opportunity for improvement.
Right.
And it could be at work about, hey, this is a problem that we have in our facility or in our business. Let's the two of us work on this together.
Right.
And a lot of times it helps to have somebody along the ride, along on the ride with you.
Yeah, somebody that's going to hold you accountable and help you in your moments of weekness when you'd rather just go back in that comfort zone and put the blankie back on. They rip it off and throw you out, into the water, right?
This is Business Talk with Michelle and Pete, and we're talking about your business and your success. And self-discipline is really one of the key concepts here, and it's about mastering yourself. In other words, knowing yourself well enough so you know where your opportunities are and where your weak points might be.
Yep.
And then what might it take to get you through those weak moments.
Right.
And then self-control to say, hey, I'm going to, let's say you're in business, I'm going to make 10 outgoing phone calls to my past customers every week.
Yeah.
So 2 a day. It sounds simple, right?
Right.
And we have some clients that have struggled with this for months.
Yeah.
Before they really decide, hey, I'm actually going to do this.
Right.
But to do that simple thing, 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, and do it each day.
Right.
How difficult is it to actually do it?
It's really not that difficult.
Right.
But yet,
however,
it really is. Yeah.
And
so, sometimes we say get those things that are more challenging for you out of the way first, especially if there's something you really enjoy doing that you're going to need to work on. Say in your business, you really enjoy the marketing end of things. Well, you're not allowed to play in marketing until you do your budget or you're not allowed to do things.
There you go.
So
you've got and that leads to the third term in the self-discipline area is delayed gratification. So if you love the marketing part, however, you're the owner of the business, you can't spend 95% of your time in marketing, right? You have to do some other administrative and managerial thing.
Exactly.
You've got to be able to discipline yourself to say, all right, my work week could be 50% marketing because I own this place.
Yeah.
I love marketing. I'm gonna do marketing.
Absolutely.
But I also have to give feedback to my employees and occasionally talk to a customer.
Yeah. Because if we spend all our time in marketing bringing all these new customers and we don't treat them very well when they get there.
The only way to get around that is to just say that you've got someone that you're paying to do all those other things and they're fully capable. You still have to be engaged in some other parts of the business, but the third point there was delayed gratification, meaning I've got to do the things that I really don't want to do right at this moment in order to get to do the things that I really love.
Absolutely.
And it's the same with lunch, right?
Sure, absolutely. It's that dessert at the end of the day.
Friday night, I'm having that gigantic steak.
That's right.
And I'm going to get there by having a salad all 5 days this week.
Yeah.
Could your business use some help? Call 614-306-7922 to schedule your coaching session. 614-306-7922. Now, here's more business talk.
All right, so a beautiful day here in Ohio. Now, Michelle, what about our next 90-day planning session? When is that?
I believe it is September 16th. It's that sounds about right. I'm just kind of pulling that out here while Pete pulls out the calendar. We'll verify. But what are 90-day
15th.
15th.
It's Friday the 15th. It's always on a Friday.
Yes.
And what we do there is help you to go through a 90-day plan for your business.
Yes. And we, get what your goals are going to be, what you're going to get accomplished that 90 days, help you come up with some strategies and action steps on how you're going to do it, who's going to work on it, when it's going to get done, all of those things. And there's a great working of people together. All of our clients come together and network and share ideas, because even though they're in different industries and might be in different levels of their different businesses, it's amazing that all the ideas that they can come together and share with each other. And the idea that the plumber might give the attorney, that all of a sudden they, working hand in hand, have the same idea in their own capacity.
Right. And everybody has employees and customers, and you have a lot of similarities, even though they're very different businesses.
Exactly. And you never know. We've put a lot of businesses together that have been able to help each other. Hey, you know what? I needed an attorney. There you go.
Right.
Perfect.
Right. That happens.
Yeah.
Okay,
Great.
good. So if you'd like to come.
Yes. Well, give us a call, and we'll make sure we have 2 tickets to give away, I believe, for the Next Growth Club on September 15th. So if you want to get into the chance of that, the first callers win. It's 614-306-7922. 614-306-7922. We have 2 companies that we can give tickets away for our Next Growth Club on September 15th.
And there's generally 35 to 50 people in there. And again, it's some individual business owners, and some bring their management teams.
Yep.
And work through their goals together.
Exactly.
And one of your clients, in fact, they have a meeting before the 90-day planning session and rough out the goals.
Yep.
And then when they come into that room, they're off and running.
They're really
it really works out
focused on
well.
just the action steps and everything.
And then we take you through a process that allows you to create this plan. The other thing we do is we have an hour of training on a topic.
Right.
We'll do a little bit of financials again this time, but we always have another business topic that everybody can relate to in the morning.
Yeah. Good.
Well, good. All right. So we're talking about a book by Brian Tracy. It's No Excuses, The Power of Self-Discipline. And again, we've used some examples about weight loss and those kind of things that a lot of people are familiar with.
Right.
Me included. And one of the goals here is that it's not about the things you acquire or what you accomplish, it's about who you become. So if you could become a person that was very disciplined when you needed to be, how would that help you? How do you think it would help you?
Oh, it would be amazing, because I can find myself, and I think we keep each other accountable, within our own things, because sometimes it is easy to get in those excuses and say, oh, I'm too busy, I don't have time, all those things. But really, when you have somebody question you and hold you, your feet to the fire and say, well, really, how long would this take? You don't have that 2 minutes to get that done or whatever.
Right.
So, being that person could really change. One thing that we talk a lot about with our coaching clients is another formula. We're kind of getting into some formulas today.
It's math time, guys.
Math time again.
Look out.
But this formula we call B times do equals have.
Oh, yes.
So the have would be the results that you want to get, what you're really trying to work towards. The do is those easy steps,
actions.
those first steps, those actions that we need to take in order to get those results. But the B is the tricky part. The B is that who you want to become, or who you need to become in order to do those actions, in order to get those results.
Right.
So sometimes we really need to work on our own self-discipline, on our education. Sometimes we need to take a step back and take a class or read some books on the topic, really focus on a different mindset that we might need in order to get those results that we want.
Yeah, a lot of these things are about building habits. And
Right.
there's a book called The Power of Habit. And I think it's Charles Duhigg, D-U-H-I-G-G, and excuse me if I spelled your name wrong, Charles. But it is The Power of Habit, and it's a great book about how habits get formed and how you can break a habit that isn't serving you. And a lot of these discussions are about the habits that we develop.
Right.
And any habit can be changed. It can be unlearned.
Yes. It's going to take some time.
And you do have to occasionally examine the habits that are helping you. And there are a lot that do.
Yeah.
And there are some habits that aren't helping you.
Absolutely.
So.
For sure.
So one of the things that successful people have been able to do as a habit is to think about the positive long-term consequences of things. Mm-hmm. So, for example, let's go back to the lunch thing again.
Okay.
A year ago, I had a slightly high triglycerides and cholesterol.
Yes.
Not bad, just on the high end of the range and a little actually over the range. Sorry, Jeff.
We won't mention.
Dr. Jeff, love you. Anyway, I started having salads more often. I don't do it 5 days a week, but I do it multiple times. It's usually 3 days a week, and then sometimes for lunch I'll just have a couple of V8s.
Oh, nice.
And they fill you up.
Yeah.
Amazingly or not. I mean, it's not a cheeseburger.
Right.
But it actually tastes pretty good.
Yeah. Good.
And the numbers, I just got my physical results a few days ago, and they're in range.
Awesome.
And they've never been in range,
That's
ever.
Great. Good job, Pete.
Yeah,
without having to take all those medicines, pop all those pills.
Oh, yeah, there's no pills. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's V8 juice.
Yeah, V8
That's
juice.
a pill.
That's a pill.
Yeah.
It's not a pill because it's delicious. Let's just face it.
It's pretty good. Yeah, without vodka, too, which I'm proud of myself.
You can pretend it's a Bloody Mary. It's just not. Great.
But the idea is that there's a little bit of developing a habit at lunchtime to be able to use that as a substitute. Hey, I'm a little hungry. I'll drink a can of this. It's 70 calories, and I'm full.
Right.
And I actually know I'm doing something good long term.
Right. Absolutely.
And then I've gotten a little piece of feedback that says, you know what, dude, you need to keep doing this.
It's working.
So hopefully I will continue it.
Good. Good for you.
Yeah.
Star on your forehead for that.
Star on the forehead. So, and the opposite of that would be immediate gratification.
Mm-hmm.
I'm having the cheeseburger.
Right.
And then tomorrow, I'm having the cheeseburger.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm going to eat all the fries. Every single one of them.
Absolutely.
Would I like a biggie size? Yes.
Yes, I would. There's a book called Take the Stairs by Rory Vaden. And it's I've been listening to his podcast and different things he's been talking about recently. And it's kind of the same idea of long-term gratification versus, short-term.
Short-term,
and,
right.
The short-term, you're kind of faced. In his book, he talks about, you get to a place where there's an escalator and there's stairs, and which do you take? A good portion of the population heads straight for that escalator because it's a heck of a lot easier. And right now it just sounds better. You won't get to the top and be winded, and you can just
work on your phone
move on,
while
you
you're
can
going
play
up
on
there.
your phone while you're doing it. Yeah. He said, but the, people that are drivers, the people that are winners, the people that tend to be the most successful are the ones that take the stairs because they know their long-term benefit of that little tiny bit of cardiovascular exercise is going to take them much further down the road.
Yeah, and the thing is, once you do it for a while, because I do this at one of our clients down in Grandview, they're on the third floor.
Sure. Yep.
I take the stairs all the time now. The first couple times it felt weird.
Yeah.
It's like, why don't I just get on the elevator?
Right.
This is kind of weird.
A lot easier.
But now that feels normal.
Right. Yeah. That's good. See?
Okay.
Shows you made the right choice for your long-term health.
So that one definition of self-discipline is the ability to do what you should do when you should do it, whether you want to or not. It's pretty simple, right?
It is pretty simple, yeah.
You know you should do it.
Right.
You got to make yourself do it.
Yes,
right?
You have to force yourself to go the right way.
When you actually follow through on these promises, most of the things we're talking about are your battles within. It's not about with your employees, but we've got to start with you, is that when you do what you say you're going to do, you tell yourself, hey, I'm going to get this done this weekend. When you actually follow through, it increases your self-esteem.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It can earn the respect and esteem of others.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
If your spouse says, holy cow, you cleaned out the garage.
Yeah.
Wow.
What?
Unbelievable.
Been asking you that for months.
You filled up my car with gas and vacuumed it out and washed it?
Yeah.
Oh,
amazing.
Cool. Yeah. So you happen to like yourself more. You give yourself a little more pats on the back, which is a really good thing for how you feel about your business and everything else.
Yeah.
You're proud of yourself. And the other thing, it helps you. You're capable of achieving other goals. It rubs off on other things.
For sure.
If you can discipline yourself in one area, it helps others.
For sure, because success breeds success, and it's all back to that reticular activating system. We threw out that big word before, but, it's setting that mindset towards positive things or towards success. So in this case, if you prove to yourself that you can be successful by being disciplined, then your mind is focused on success. So as you mentioned, in other areas of your life, all of a sudden you want success in more places because you did enjoy those good feelings. You did enjoy that positivity. You did enjoy the success that you received from that and the rewards probably that you received from being successful.
So again, this is Business Talk with Michelle and Pete, and we're talking about your business. And we've got a book here by Brian Tracy called No Excuses, and the subtitle is Power of Self-Discipline. We've been talking about how this applies to your own life, but also to your business. And in the exercise part of this book, and these are really good exercises, and we went through this with a client a few weeks ago, and it was their management team, their entire management team. Everybody that had people reporting to them went through this exercise. And we can't do all of these, but a few of these are really good. So if you take out a sheet of paper, if you're at home, if you're driving, do not do this. No. However, you can listen to our past shows at
takeactionbusinesscoaching.com. And you go to business radio. I forget what the tab is, but if you go to our website, Take Action Business Coaching, you will find it on there. That's right. It's one of the top tabs. And we have all of our past radio shows on there, and we also share them on our social media, like facebook.com/Take Action Business Coaching.
So this one should be a show titled No Excuses.
That's right.
And self-discipline. So the exercise, and we'll give more of these after we get back, is name 3 people, living or dead, who you most admire, and describe one quality of each of them that you respect. There might be multiple qualities with some of these great people in your life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or who are no longer in your life that you still love. Think about that person and think about what's the thing that I really admired about that person the most, and write it down. It's powerful stuff. When we get back, we're going to talk a little more about how this applies to your business and to your personal life.
Sounds great.
To learn more about today's topic, call 614-306-7922. Now, back to more business talk.
We're talking today about a Brian Tracy book called No Excuses, The Power of Self-Discipline, and how this could apply to your business. And it's really about you looking at the things that you'd like to change or improve upon and figuring out what are the actions I really need to take. Right. Here's the results I want. What are the things, if I did them on a habitual basis, would produce those results?
Right.
So that's step 2. After you get the goal identified, what are the strategies? What are the things I actually have to execute on? And a lot of times these are simple things. Hey, I need to give more feedback to my employees.
Yeah.
All right. So
do it.
Put a list down, and we've done this with clients, is have a list on your desk or in your planner or your book that you carry with you with the names of your direct reports.
Yep.
And at the end of the week, give yourself a grade, ABC, whether or not you spent a significant or enough time with each individual.
Yeah.
Now, some of your A players have been there for years. They're really good at their jobs. You don't need to spend a whole lot of time, but you do need to interact with them and reinforce what they're doing and thank them, right?
Right.
However, there may be some people that are 5s and 6s that could be 9s. I'm thinking of a scoring area.
Yeah.
And they need your help to get from a 5 to an 8.
Right.
And they can do it, but
Absolutely.
They need training and they need reinforcement of the things that they can do well.
Yeah.
And you are maybe in a lot of cases are the only ones that can do this.
Right. Or you can train and teach your other star players to help those people that in the middle too. But you still need to be the leader. You still need to be the one, making sure that they do it correctly, that they are doing it, that they're getting it done.
Yeah. So interacting with your folks that need you is a habit that all good leaders can develop and maybe even get a little better at if you're already doing it.
Yes.
But you could get a little better at it, and maybe in the long run, it's an investment in people that's going to help you in the long run.
Right.
And you'll have to worry less if they're better at their job.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
So the exercise before the break was to name 3 people, living or dead, who you most admire and describe one quality of each of them that you respect. And then think about yourself. Determine the most important value or virtue that you would like to improve on or practice more or emulate more or make a habit of.
Yeah.
So get real clear on just one.
Sure.
Just one. And then think about situations where you feel really confident, where you're really powerful.
Mm-hmm.
For example, and I've done this before, is that you have an employee, you help them learn a task, and they get really happy once they know how to do it correctly, right?
Yeah.
You get a buzz out of that, right?
Absolutely.
So if that's something that is important to you and you really enjoy doing that, well, jot down those situations.
Yeah.
And then when are you at your best? When do you feel your best for yourself, your best self-esteem, your best personal worth? What are those situations? Try and identify those things.
Sure.
And get clear on where you're the best use of your time.
Okay. I definitely can spend more time, and I think that I was thinking about this earlier. I was like, I've been fortunate enough to choose my career 3 times in my life already, and I'm only 41, so
that's great.
But it's always been a choice. It's never been, I just landed in this, But if you are in a situation where you find
like career, not just job,
yes,
but
exactly.
3 careers, different careers.
Yes, 3 different careers, and it's been an amazing journey. And sometimes I feel like people, might get out of school and just land in a job, and maybe it even becomes their career.
Well, and I think years ago it was more common.
Right.
You stayed in one vocation the entire working life.
Exactly, and you've been fortunate enough too to make that choice to leave your original career choice and move on. And if you're finding yourself in a position where you may not be completely happy, whether it's in your own business or whether it's in a business that you're working in, take time to think about what is it that you do like and what is it that you don't like about yourself, and when do you feel most confident and when do you feel the best about, things, and, whether that's you adapt your own business to get more of the fun and enjoyment in your life, or whether it's you make a career change. But, really think about what it is you enjoy doing and make a career of that.
Within your own business. It could be in your own business.
Exactly.
Yeah, it doesn't mean you have to leave put your pen down and leave, right?
Exactly. We're done. Close the
business. That's not what we're talking about. But the highest and best use of you in that organization could be something different than what you do every day.
Exactly.
And you've got to take a look at where you're spending your day and your week to figure out where that is.
Yeah.
And actually ask your coworkers as well. Or a lot of us have a trusted person that we work with that can give us honest feedback. We have people that will go, you're great.
Yeah.
But they won't really tell you that you have spinach in your tooth.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes we find that, like we have our best sales people would be the owner of the business, but they're so busy working in the areas of the business that they don't enjoy that they've stopped selling, and that doesn't mean that they don't have other salespeople out there doing it, but sometimes, they're the most passionate about their business. They're
and
the
if you
ones
love
that
it,
can do that.
if you're the owner and you love it, you should be able to do that.
That's right.
If that's what you
we
really enjoy.
We have to help make you time to make sure you're getting what you enjoy. So all kind of goes back to these exercises. Where do you feel most confident? Where do you feel good?
The other thing that he suggests in here, and these are, again, exercises from the book, Brian Tracy's book by him, is No Excuses, The Power of Self-Discipline, is to take a look into your past and look at some incident or persons or things that upset you and make you unhappy. Because one thing we want to do is push out negative emotions, if at all possible, and take responsibility for everything.
Right.
That's one of the big concepts in this book, is about you are responsible for everything.
Right.
Doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah. The buck stops here, right?
Yeah. And when you get upset about something, you've got to really look at what's driving that and figure out what could I take responsibility for that could overcome that and get past it. Because we want to get past it if we can and resolve situations or forgive someone. And if they're passed away, well, forgive yourself then for whatever happened back then.
Right.
And get over it.
Yeah.
Right?
That's one thing Andy Andrews talks about, I believe, in The Traveler's Gift is forgiveness, even if nobody's asking for forgiveness. You can still forgive somebody even if they're not taking it upon themselves to apologize or to be sorry.
Yeah, that's a great point.
You can still give forgiveness without having to have heard the words from them because you let it go. You're only holding yourself in that cage of misery and hatred or whatever is holding you back by not forgiving. So, take that opportunity to just forgive them and let it go.
Yeah, and Brian Tracy's point in here is that if you take responsibility for every situation, it'll almost could eliminate your times when you feel anger. If you just take responsibility for it.
Yeah.
And you know what, like as you said, Michelle, you may not be able to change that person's opinion or even be able to talk to them about it.
Right.
If it's somebody in traffic, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But as my friend Craig said, if somebody pulls in front of you, just look at them and their cars, they're speeding away from you after they've just cut you off and say, I love you. And you actually feel better. You feel better, and it's over.
And screaming and yelling and making your blood pressure go through the roof.
I did the other thing. I grew up in New York.
Sure.
But it does actually physically make you feel a little better, and you're done with it.
You're done. That's awesome.
And they're still, cutting off people, but you're good.
Yes, you've let them go. They're not holding you captive anymore.
So the other thing, and we do this with our clients a lot, is that make a list of goals that you want to achieve in the foreseeable future. So a lot of you business owners have never set goals for your business,
right?
Even though it's gone really well, you've achieved a lot, and it doesn't have to be 10. It could be 3. I think 10 is even, unless you are ready to prioritize them.
Absolutely.
But think of the top 3 that you really want to accomplish in the next 1 to 3 years.
Yeah.
And write them down.
Yeah. And sometimes if we have too many goals, we don't get any done because we have no focus. And so really, we have a really cool system that we do at the 90-day plan coming up here, September 15th, where we do our forced matrix. And it's really prioritizing tool that is amazing. And a lot of our clients enjoy it and have a lot of fun doing that. So if you want to learn about the Force Matrix, you can come on September 15th to our Growth Club. We do have 2 sets of tickets to give away to 2 business owners. If you want to give us a call at 614-306-7922 to attend that. And you can set goals, as Pete is talking about here with the book.
And it's interesting. Brian Tracy, of course, he's suggesting making a list of 10 goals. He said select one goal that would have the greatest impact. So you have a list of 10. That's nice.
Yes.
Pick one.
Yeah.
I don't want to pick one. Well, pick one. And then make a list of everything you could do to achieve the goal.
Yeah.
And then figure out, how do I incorporate those things into my work life?
Great. Set them on your calendar, because that can definitely be the trickiest thing, is really dedicating that time. Because if you don't set a time to work on those things,
yes,
then it's easy to get wrapped up in the day and in the week. And I mean, I can't believe we're here in July already. Like, how does we get to July?
Right. I don't know.
So if we don't have the things in our calendars, we won't prioritize them and make the time to do them.
Right. So the next thing is about working on yourself, is about identifying skills that you may need. I could be better at giving feedback to my employees.
Sure.
I could be a better coach to someone who does this, that, or the other. There are certain people that drive you crazy, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, when an employee is having this type of a problem, I get upset. Well, how can I get better at being a coach with an employee with that type of problem in that situation?
Right.
So if I could get better at that, it would really help my business a lot.
For sure.
So what is it? What is the skill that you could get better at? And then looking at, over the next couple of years, what are a couple of things that I really need to gain knowledge in? And with some of our business owners, a lot of times it's financial aspects. The business has grown from $2 million to $10 million, and now, oh my gosh, I got to decide to buy my building, or I need to decide if I'm going to diversify or open an office in Cleveland. And it gets to where they are fearful about those kind of decisions.
For sure.
And if you had a little bit more financial knowledge, you'd be a little more comfortable in that area.
Right.
And be able to sign a contract for a long period of time and not worry about, we want you to be thinking about it, but not worrying about it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's great to hire experts, to hire advisors, to hire people that take care of things in your business, as far as attorneys and financial CFOs and different things like that, if that's not your wheelhouse or not what you want to spend your time doing in. But you still need to be educated enough to be able to have a conversation with them about what they know, to know how it impacts your business, to know if they're pulling the wool over your eyes and something could be happening that shouldn't be.
Yeah, you could never not lead, right?
Exactly.
And you need to be the leader of your advisors.
Right.
And if your attorney needs to understand the direction you want to go and the boundaries around which you want to operate.
Right.
And there are certain things you don't want to do, and you want to make sure you be able to let them know, this is the thing I want to accomplish, and I need your help to do it.
Right.
And you still got to be responsible for what they do for you.
Absolutely.
Right? So,
or what they don't do for you.
So the book we talked about today is Brian Tracy's No Excuses, Power of Self-Discipline. There's a couple of chapters with an outline of some of the ideas which we've talked about, but then the rest of the book is got a series of exercises that are really powerful when you work through them. We did this with a client a few weeks ago with their management team. We actually worked through the exercises in a meeting room because we decided that, this is tough when you read a book and you say, well, we're going to do these exercises over the next 6 months. A lot of times it gets thrown on the shelf.
Sure.
So we did it with them. So that's something you could do at work.
Yeah.
Is once a week or every other week, sit down and go through them with your employees.
Yeah. Just work on little parts of exercises one at a time.
So listen in next Saturday at 1 o'clock for Business Talk. Thanks, Michelle.
Thanks, Pete. Fun.
This has been Business Talk, your business, your success. Sponsored by Take Action Business Coaching. The opinions expressed were those of the participants and may not be the views of the staff, advertisers, and owners of the station. Advice given was not intended to replace that of your business advisor. For more information about the topics discussed today, call 614-306-7922. 614-306-7922. Tune in next week at this time for more Business Talk. Your business, your success.